Hi friends, Sam Waheed Khan. As a professional trader, I get asked so many questions about different things in the stock market. So I decided to make this video. I will walk through these few questions that I normally get from people all the time, and I will try to put these claims to rest. A lot of them is considered, I consider them as myth. So I will go through these questions one by one and try to answer them. I've been a professional trader for years. I have a background from the automobile business. I started studying stocks over the years, and then as the time passed by, I become got more and more involved in it. Now I'm a professional trader, over several 100% of returns over the years. So not claiming here, it's not my success stories. It's basically the video is all about how can I explain the stock market, like the myths that we have about the stock market that people think. So we're gonna go to the video. We're gonna start the video. The first question, let me just go through these questions real quick. The first question, so investing in the stock market, is it gambling? One of the best questions I get is, stock market is just like gambling, all these prices are going up and down, and I can just quickly put my money in, and then, I'll become an overnight success or something like that, or I'll become overnight poor, if that's what you want to call it. But gambling, is not gambling. Let me put this myth to rest. It's a complete myth that the stock market is gambling. It is absolutely not gambling. You can turn it into gambling, like if you want to not do your homework and just, for example, if you're following one of your friends who texts you and he's like, buy this stock, and you quickly put your money in it, even if you make some money, next time you're going to get that message, you might end up losing money. So if you're going to run or invest in the stock market based on the news, or just because of your friend said so, that he thinks this or she thinks the security is going to go up or down, if you are going to make your investment based on that, more than likely it is going to turn into gambling. There's no question about that. Stock market is way more than that. It's more of a calculative decision about how you buy and sell anything. Pretty much, if you know how to buy anything at a cheaper price and then sell it for more money, that's how you buy and sell stocks. And if you think something is overvalued, you think that after studying through the company, you understand that the company is overvalued and the stock shouldn't be that much pricing. You short it, so you bring it down to the value that you think the stock market is there. But that's not the only way to invest in the stock market. There's too many things involved in it. You can buy, you can do it on a public traded company, or you can go into even private companies. Some private companies try to raise equity through private stock offering, which you can find through different markets. So stock market is not limited to what we see online and things like that. There's so many ways of buying and selling securities. You can go into different kind of asset locations, stocks, bonds. You can go to ETFs. There's so much more in the market, that roughly just calling it gambling. Let me tell you something. There's about 70 to 80 trillion dollars worth of wealth in the stock market, and I'm telling you, it's not based on gambling. It's a team of very, very savvy traders from all over the world, computers, calculative decisions, and putting it simply, it's not a gamble. It's not a gamble. It's not gambling market. You technically buy and sell securities based on the calculation. It's a very, very calculative method. Again, you can turn it into gambling if you like to, but it is not gambling. It's literally a business that you can establish over the years, and you can move on with it. So not a gambling. The second question I get is I love it, and I laugh my ass off. How quickly can I double my money? That is a question I get. So I call it double king. I'm like, so one of the, friend was asking me about how to double my money. And then, so I asked him, I was like, how much time do you have? And he tells me, if you can tell me something within the next 24 to 48 hours, that will be awesome. So I looked at him. I was like, oh, do you know of any security that can double within the next 2 hours? Because if there was a way to finding doubling the money, I will take the next 2 hours, right? Why take the 48-hour, right? There's no, again, if you are thinking of the stock market as a gambling platform, more than likely you are going to get burned and discouraged and eventually leave the market, because it's not supposed to be like that. The way market is designed is it tries to put a rush into people, like something is about to happen, and people, if you don't do your calculation prior to these events, a lot of times you end up getting stuck with these things, and then you can't get yourself out of it, and it becomes it becomes a long drastic process, because now you're stressed and you can't sell it and you can't make a decision and you don't know if it's going to go up. So there's a lot more things involved in it. So doubling your money, you can double your money maybe in few years. I mean, depending on what kind of returns that you're getting. If you're getting 30% returns, if you're getting 40% return. Another friend of mine, he asked me a few years ago, he's like, he had about, I think, $50,000. He's like, how long is going to take for me to double my money? So if I remember correctly, I told him about three years, something like that. I was like, if you do it consistently, maybe you'll be able to double that around 3 years on normal, way. If you just do your 10, 20, 30% a year. He's like, oh, that's too long. So a few months ago, I met him again, and he asked me the same question. So I asked him, how much money do you have? So this time he told me he has $45,000. So I'm like, how much time? And he asked me the same question. So then I reminded him of the last conversation we had, that had you invested that $50,000 3 years ago, there was a high chance that you could have made a lot more money out of it. But for the past 3 years, looking for that one security that's going to double your money has left you with less than 50,000, not even 45,000. So the point is, it's not, instead of looking for the ways to double your money, the proper way to do the stock market is to study it, get mentors, invest in yourself, study day by day, night after night, get more information on it. It's just like any other business. If you are investing in something, you want to know about the company. You want to know about the product. You want to know if it's a sellable product, and the rest is all simple math. So it's not something that one must be taking in a gambling source, or don't want to, or just quickly rush into something. And too many traders lose not only money, but get discouraged. And what happens is they end up discouraging the rest of the people around as well, telling them it's basically is gambling, or it's not something that makes sense, or is corrupted. Well, that's a myth there as well. There's no way to double your money like that. It's a proper trading platform where if you can double, triple, 4 times, 10 times your money. I have over 300% returns on certain things. So the thing is, it all takes time. You have to be patient. There's no overnight success formula. Like any other business, stock market may appear to be that, people are buying it, just like as of this video, there's a security Kodak that went from $2 to $40. Now you can argue that, something like that went 500% within 2 days. But again, there's a lot more information behind that, how long, the conversation be doing on, and when the deal took place, and then what happened yesterday, and how much was the short selling, how many shares were left there, and then that caused the whole thing to short squeeze and the prices to go up. But anyhow, that's a long debate. So not a gambling. You can get a decent return over the years if you don't treat it like gambling, and if you try not to double your money overnight. Second question. So getting to the third question, do you have to be a mathematician? Now, that is something, I'm actually in a live trading as well, so I'm also looking at the accounts. I don't do day trading. Once in a while I do, but mostly it's a little bit longer term. Mathematician, you don't have to be a mathematician in order to buy and sell stocks. There's some fundamental math that I would say is involved in it, but that is very, very basic math. If you know how to subtract and add and basically divide and multiply, more than likely you will come to those numbers that you're looking for. When you use these online platforms, there's so many things. There are tools available that you really don't even have to calculate all that stuff. You can just compare them because automatically calculated. But it's not as complicated as it appears to be. There's no differentiation formulas going on in there. There's no integration formulas going in there. Yeah, there's a graph, and there's some more calculations about the profits and loss, but every business has it. The way I look at it, every business has profits and loss. And if you know how to study a financial statements, if you know how to calculate the cost of the product, the overhead expense, and the net profit out of the product, you can actually calculate the worth of the securities. You can actually calculate, you can see what is going on. A lot of times these companies have news coming on, a deal coming on, and the prices go up and down based on that. So you make money off of those news then when you already are comfortable, with the company, when you have done your research. But mathematician, no, that is not true. You don't have to be a mathematician. You do have to have the basic know and how, about the thing. But the most important point that I will say that you must understand how to evaluate a business. You must understand the industry. If it doesn't make sense to you, you might want to study more or stay away from it till you actually get a grip of that. So math has to do, a lot with it, but not as to what people think that I have to be a mathematician and all these calculators and all these charts and graphs are being formed and things like that. It's nothing like that. A lot of stuff appears to be because when you first start trading it, you see all these windows and all these stuffs going on. But as the time passes, you kind of like narrow down that I don't need this and I need this and I need that. Like on these graphs, like I have certain securities, certain like very simple and clean graphs, I can see what's going on. And then if I have to draw more lines and things like that, I can always do that later on, during my when I'm researching these stocks. So no, you don't have to be a mathematician, just a basic know of how to add and subtract and multiply, and just following up with the financial statements will give you a lot of leverage to be a very, very savvy trader in the stock market. So another thing, so there we go. And then market crash can come any day and I will lose everything. Now, that's another thing. A lot of times I had friends, I recommended them to start investing in stocks, and the most common answer I get from them is like, what if I wake up tomorrow and my account is empty? What if the market crashes tomorrow? What if happens this? What if that happens? I'm like, we can talk about hypothetically all day long, but a 70 to 80 trillion dollars in the market doesn't just float like that in the morning you're going to wake up and the money is going to be gone. Well, let me take a step back. There are companies out there that are crook and fraudulent, and this is how they behave, and sometimes even in pharmaceutical company, which are binary effect, like, binary event companies that you can lose a lot of money while you are invested into the market overnight. But that's only, again, it takes us back to the first question. If you are gambling, if you're not studying the companies, if you're not understanding the valuation, if you don't understand what the hell is going on. So you have to go back and actually do your fundamentals. You can't just, go and start trading based on your friend told you. You don't lose money overnight. You always get chances in the market to kick back. Like even when the economy collapses, things like that, there's so many ways to prevent your losses, like stop losses, or you get a kickback and you try to get out of at that time. You might not be able to get all the, eliminate all the losses, but you can definitely mitigate your losses in an event like that, such as like COVID-19 happened. But even then, if you look at the graph or the time frame, the market did give us a week or 2 weeks, something like that, or 3 weeks even, to get out of the security. But, if people don't want to get out of it, then what can you do? But thinking about the 1970s stock market crash and Great Depression and the 2009, the moment you want to invest in the market, thinking that you have to understand that there's a 10 years of bull markets, a couple of years of bull market, a year of bull market prior to that. It didn't just happen. People made a lot of profits before the market went down. And it's not that they didn't know. A lot of time, technical traders, people, insiders, they get an idea. There are a lot of signs that appear in the market, which kind of gives you an idea idea to get out of the market or get in the market. So no, you don't lose your money overnight. There's so many ways of actually protecting that. Stock market is a serious platform, and it must be taken seriously. If you are lazy, if you don't like to do your work, if you don't like to go into details, put the effort and time in it, yeah, maybe it can cost you a lot of money, because if you close your eyes and just invest in any business, more than likely that's what's going to happen. The last one, do I have to have a lot of money to invest it? No, you don't. You don't. I think my first trading was $200. I started from. I didn't know anything. I mean, I started the first time I ever wanted to do the stock market, years ago, 20 years ago, and wanted to get in there. My colleagues gave me a runaround to the point where I didn't even know where to start from, because I really didn't know all these online platforms weren't available and things like that. But when I did start, I remember it wasn't much. I mean, I started with $200, and from what I gather, I go online and I have subscription to all these different platforms. A lot of them allows you to even start trading with $100, $50, $200. I mean, some of them do want it $1,000 or something like that, but a lot of them you can start with $50 or $100. Especially nowadays, you don't even have commissions like that. You have commissions on calls and contracts and options and puts and things like that, but you really don't have majority of these platforms don't have any further fees for the regular investing, buying and selling stocks. So this might be a good time for you to open up an account on E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Sun, whichever you use, where there's no cost to it. You can actually start with few $100s. And once you start becoming savvier, you start understanding more and more, then you can increase that amount. You can go more and more and more. And depending on if you want to keep it as a side hustle, or if you want to turn it to a main business, then you can, increase or decrease your investment. So no, you don't need to have a lot of money to start. It will be a good thing. In fact, you don't want to start with a lot of money, because you don't know what you're doing yet. So till you get a grip of what you're doing, you want to keep on playing. You don't want to. I'm not into paper trading and things like that. That's another something that I come across a lot of. These young guys that I work with, and they tell me about these paper trading that they're into. And I'm not about paper trading. It's just you can do it, but I think the real market, what it misses is the real emotions, like how the emotions, when you actually money is involved in the market, or when you're trying to take your money out of there, how does the human emotions work? That is the most fascinating part of the stock market, which I love. I mean, that's just my interest. I'm not saying everyone will be interested in that, but the paper trading versus the real trading is two different things. So I'll still go for the real trading, even if you're starting with $50, than actually going for paper trading with $40,000, because that's just, I don't know. I tried it. It didn't even make sense to me. So go for it. Start your investing strategies today. Like I said, don't think too much. A lot of stuff in the market is myth. A lot of the stuff in the market is myth. It's not true how people think it is. It's not gambling. It's not overnight failure. It's not overnight success. It's no doubling the money. You don't have to have a lot of money to start investing. There's a lot of myths out there. Don't listen to it. Just go online platforms. Go to one of these things. Like I said, E-Trade, Ameritrade, Fidelity, SunTrust, Bank of America. All of these have some sort of trading platform. You can register with them. You can start studying about them. You can start with $50. The best thing that before I finish my video, I would say about the market is the best thing that you can learn the stock market. It just gives you a completely different vision of the entire world. Like, it will open up all the businesses in front of you. Like, you will be able to pick up Amazon, Walmart, Nestle, Boeing, any company in the world that is a major publicly traded company. You can pick up their quarterly statement. You can pick up their yearly statement. You can go through their financial statements and know exactly how much companies are worth. You get to know how CEOs perform. You get to know how companies enhance, how they grow forward. You get to know how companies go bankrupt, what they do wrong. You get to see what CEOs do. There's a lot more. It's it's an entire different world of information that I highly emphasize for people to get in there and start working on it, because that's like, if you get that information, you will start looking at businesses from completely different perspective like never before. And I promise you that. And I think that's one of the reasons maybe rich people don't want to say that much. And maybe a lot of them have spread these rumors out there that it's gambling, because people don't want you to get rich. But it is a right platform. So go for it. Start the process. Don't panic. Work on it. Study. Invest in yourself and keep on improving. If you guys have any questions, send me through. You guys can follow me on YouTube as Sam Waheed Khan. You can follow me on my Facebook page as well, Sam Waheed Khan, and I do motivational speaking and writing as well. So you can follow me there at Always Strong. I'll be making another video, how to invest in stocks for the beginners in next week or so. I will try to put some ideas together to see how beginners can start their trading platform. If you have any questions, feel free to text me, email me, comment me. I would love to hear back from you. Take care, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Stay safe.